Terra Classic for me is about to take another leg up. If the crypto market continues to move in the way we think it will, then Terra Classic for me has got some increasingly exciting proposals coming down and an upgrade that we need to talk about in this video, as well as some people hanging on to its coattail and an interesting update from the Terra Rebels. We're going to get into all of that in this video. Be sure, if you are holding Luna Classic, to subscribe to the channel. We talk about it every day, as well as the general cryptocurrency market. And with that being said, let's get into it. So currently the price, Luna Classic 1623. We did see this big sell-off here as part of the DOJ trying to regulate cryptocurrency. We saw it across the whole market. Bitcoin dropped 20,695, as well as ETH touching 1510. And Luna Classic, unfortunately, not any different. Took a big dump all the way from 17.7 down, bottomed out at 15.42 as those longs got liquidated. Now, interestingly, the buys came all the way back up, getting us back up to that kind of 16.7. We've consolidated and we are sitting currently 16.2 as we've just gone into a new day here in the UK. And you can see a massive amount of money flow out of the Terra Luna Classic ecosystem. Well, time will tell in terms of what the market will do. Certainly, it's been a long old run up into that 21k range for Bitcoin. So look, we'll have to see how that does. But we're not here to talk about Bitcoin. We're here to talk about Terra Luna Classic and in particular what is going on. So we have officially got now the version 1.0.5 upgrade proposal live on station. Again, you can come over here and you can see currently people are voting on it. There's still some glitches. There's still some problems with Terra Station right now, or the interchain wallet. So you can see here we can't see which validators have voted for it at the minute, which I always think is a good kind of indicator as to exactly the sentiment of our validators. But ultimately, version 1.0.5, what is it going to do? We talked about this in a previous video, but it's two main proposals really. We'll take a look at it in a bit more detail. Ultimately, this will go live from February the 14th if this proposal will pass. And the two big things that are coming is ultimately fix for the Phytius Go, which ultimately is the endpoint LCD nodes, which is the calculation around the blockchain and ultimately the kind of gas that is required. So this 5 times gas fee increase that is going to support the Oracle and the community pool. It's one of the fixes for that. And the second one is ultimately the version map. So again, you can see exactly what the blockchain is running and it's going to be generated through those nodes. And the problem that they're running into before is a software upgrade was not able to handle it and didn't basically have the knowledge of what was going on with the current node. And finally, it is the no canonical repo for Terra Classic. What does that mean? It means that we don't have to go and get validation or sign off from the Terra Rebels, and ultimately it can be upgraded into the entire ecosystem via the community proposal, which I think is a very, very important one. We did have it at the TFL. It then got voted to go to Terra Rebels. And obviously with the Layer 1 task force team, we need to be able to upgrade and update as through the community, as opposed to, again, having to go to the Terra Rebels before we can get anything agreed. So it's important this proposal goes through. We do have some results on here. We talked about this in a previous video. And ultimately, what is it going to do? It allows us to build out. It allows us to bring decentralized applications, more wallets. Ultimately, then everything becomes more decentralized that we have run through the community pool. So that's the voting process currently on there for the Terra Luna Classic. So definitely worthwhile. In terms of burns, which I wanted to kind of bring across just to kind of talk about exactly where we are, which I think is worthwhile. We can see, and I did a video on the Binance burns coming soon, could be anything between 5 and 7 billion depending on volume. But you can see our burns have slowed. We get the odd burn here, currency 365 burning a million. The rest, incredibly small, probably 200,000. And again, I talked about this in a previous video. Where are the validators that are maintaining the network? Why are they not burning Luna Classic? Why are we not seeing some more of these go through? When we look at the dashboard though, we can see a significant step on in staking rewards, which is always good to see. 14.358 is the total number currently staked. Remember the APY, about 23% if you are converting USTC to Luna Classic. Now, the repeg and all of that good stuff coming very soon in another video, but there is a couple of points I wanted to bring on this. We do have a new project launching. This is not paid, so I'm not particularly going to go through this in any real detail, but Terraport white paper, you may well know this is part of the Terra Civita program. They are bringing a new token to Luna Classic. More importantly, and what do I talk about on these channels? The bit I'm interested in is ultimately the buyback and burn. How are we going to deflate the token supply of Terra Luna Classic? So I'm not going to go through this particularly in any real detail. Yes, it's bringing a swap. Yes, it'll have a liquidity pool. They are farming rewards, all of that good stuff. It will be multi-chain, again, linking into the Terra chain. What am I more important about? Like I said, the burn. So we'll skip through into the burn mechanism. which ultimately is kind of what I want to see out of these. Any projects that are building on our platform, I want to know what they're doing for the greater good of Luna Classic. How are they then ultimately supporting that burn proposal and getting rid of some of that supply? So let me just try and find where that is. We can see here the Terra Port Treasury. It's an autonomous DeFi platform implemented through smart contracts based on a circular economy model capable of self-sustaining indefinitely. So what are they going to offer? Buyback and burn Lunk, buyback and burn Terra, staking pools, community pools, and security and management. Now, what they are committing to do, the Treasury will be responsible for reducing circulating supply of Luna Classic and Terra by swapping 27% of the available funds in Lunk and 22% in Terra, respectively, then sending the assets to the burn address. This will make it possible to greatly reduce the amount of Terra in circulation over time by increasing its value and at the same time reduce the Luna Classic circulating by performing weekly burns of several billion. Now, that's a pretty bold statement. Several billion would be a significant amount burnt given some of our burners, but several billion a week is definitely a bold statement. Again, if you come over here and take a look at the burn wallet, that would put them already just in the first burn as in the top 4 burners if they can commit and deliver on that. So look, it's definitely a possibility. I want to see it in terms of how they build it out. We know Terra Vita is obviously part of the ecosystem of Luna Classic. They have a validator node, so again, that could be supporting it. But if we can be burning billions, then it certainly is going to make a significant difference. And then that could be the catalyst we need to start to see some bigger projects come onto our ecosystem. Now, finally, I did want to address something. Now, I don't really get into the whole beef of Twitter. I don't really get into the kind of the nitty gritty with certain individuals. However, I did want to bring this out, and I'm not even really going to through it, but Terra Rebels bringing out a Nebula wallet. Well, surprise, surprise. I think, and again, I'll put my tinfoil hat on, that's where 150k went. Wasn't in building Rebel Station, was in building some wallet for Nebula. So I'm not even going to give that the time of day, but incredibly disappointing that that's the route the Terra Rebels chose. But that's up to them. You know, money can change people in the wrong way, but we'll see. I mean, the continuation of Terra Luna Classic, we continue to build. It does feel like we've got some exciting things to come, and I genuinely do think the upgrade to 1.0.5 could be a big catalyst. The market moves with us. We could be in for a pretty good couple of months with Luna Classic. Let me know in the comments down below, what do you think? What do you think of the whole build out version 1.0.5, and what do you think of that Terra Vita project? Interested to know your thoughts. Please leave a comment down below. Also, if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, we are on our way so close to 14,000. I do appreciate you all joining us here on this journey. But as ever, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.